Starting today, companies employing at least 4 people here in New York City are required by law to disclose the range of salaries.
Yeah, this new law is meant to address pay disparities. It requires the pay scale to be listed on the job posting, and companies cannot deviate from them. New York State has a similar measure awaiting Governor Kathy Hochul's signature. If signed, New York would follow Colorado, California, and Washington State in implementing statewide laws about pay disclosure. To talk more about this, let's bring in senior corporate attorney for Payscale, Lulu Seikaly. Lulu, Tony and I were both talking about our own experiences in trying to negotiate salaries and how sometimes it can be harrowing knowing what other people are making, and sometimes if you don't know, you actually can advocate for less than you're worth. How do these pay disclosure laws change how we discuss pay equity and the wealth gap?
I think at the end of the day, it really empowers candidates to really be able to negotiate their salaries. I mean, pay transparency is going to force organizations not just to make an offer based on a candidate's prior salary, but it's really going to force employers to really dig in deep before any job is being posted. So they're going to have to benchmark their salaries. They're going to have to make sure that any salary range that they post, the current employees are making the same amount of money, because you don't want disgruntled employees wanting to leave to go to another company if they see their exact job being posted for 10, 15, 20% higher than what they're making. So at the end of the day, organizations are really going to have to do a lot of work on the back end to benchmark their salaries, make sure there's no pay inequities before even posting a salary range.
I can imagine businesses complaining about this law because they don't want to bring up salaries that are lower because they feel quite good about pocketing the difference between the higher range salaries and the lower range salaries. So what is the reaction from businesses? Is this good for business, or are they saying, hey, this hurts the bottom line?
I think we're seeing some of both. We believe actually it's good for business. If you're an organization that has a really competitive salary and you're posting it in black and white for the entire world to see, what you're telling candidates is we really value our employees, and that's going to attract top talent, and it's going to help keep your employees there. I mean, we kept hearing about the Great Resignation during the time of COVID. We're still in it. It's still a candidate-driven market, and organizations are really going to have to try and get creative in how to not only attract top talent, but keep the really high performers that they currently have.
Lulu, one of the things about pay discrepancy, particularly when it comes to gender, we know that women tend to advocate less forcefully to make the higher end of the scale. Obviously, it is a better thing if people are armed with information about what the range is, but is there still a concern that that male candidates might be hitting for the top end and females will be talking themselves down from it? How does this actually play out in terms of ensuring equity?
Well, I think we're going to have to see, right? I mean, only Colorado is the only state right now that has a pay transparency law. New York City is second in line. And then come January, we're going to see California and Washington state follow suit. I think at the end of the day, again, organizations really have to make a determination before any job is posted, regardless of who the offer is going to be made to, whether it's going to be made to a white man or whether it's going to be made to a woman. They have to really evaluate, okay, we're posting the salary range. Based on experience, we're going to offer the mid-range, we're going to offer the 25th percentile, the 75th percentile. But again, organizations do have to take things into consideration, like if they're a remote-only organization, where's that employee living? If they're living in San Francisco, maybe they'll be offered the top of the range versus somebody living in maybe Missouri, for example. What kind of skills are they bringing to the table? Things of that nature.
All right. Senior corporate attorney for Payscale, Lulu Seikaly. Lulu, thank you very much.
Thank you.